Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, with a walkthrough and first impressions of the Tantric Dakini Oracle. I don't know why or how I came across this, but when I saw it, I thought that is the weird nerd deck that I need. That is the bizarre deck. That is the out there deck that I need in my collection. Well, we'll see. Time will tell whether that ends up being a stupid purchase. But it's just so it just struck me as so weird and out there, and I liked not all of the images, I will say, but I did like them. And when was this originally published? In 1979. Was re-released in 2003. So this is the guidebook. It is chunky. I saw criticism, I think on Amazon, of the person's knowledge who created the book, that it's not accurate to Buddhism. Dakinis are supposed to be female tantric. I'll just read a little bit here. The ancient occult teachings of the great tantric masters of the East contain knowledge of the inner mysteries of the universe. The 65 cards comprising the Tantric Dakini Oracle are surrealistic expressions of each of these inner mysteries found in the subtle body or yoga body. And where does it talk? Okay. These secret dakinis, generally believed to be 64 in number, are understood to be symbolic representations of gnosis, the Gnosis, the female principle of transforming wisdom, and to act on the navel or solar plexus of the physical body. As personifications of the feminine wisdom essence, the secret dakinis bring about a transformation at the center. So, but the cards, I don't know how much I will. It sounds like a really, really interesting book to read, but I may end up just reading it according to the images, so intuitively. So it's like this part of the deck is bowed and this part is not, and so there is a problem there. I assume over time that problem will decrease. Let me see if I still have the box, and I'll just show you the box that it came. Yeah, it came in one of these boxes without anything to help you pull this out. So you have to, and it's got 2 wells. So not at all my favorite sort of box. And so I did find a bag for it. I had a bag handy. This is one from my friend Lark. Thank you, Lark. And so here we go. Just a walkthrough of the cards. I'll try to stay out here so that you can see what's on the bottom. So clearly there's a little bit of a departure from the Rider-Waite-Smith, but this is essentially a tarot without the quartz, if I'm recalling correctly, is how this is, even though they call it an oracle. And they number it. They just continue numbering on through. But, you'll see. You'll see. Well, maybe I'm going to have to back out here in terms of my... Yeah. Let's back out here. Make it realistic. See, we have the High Priestess. So don't jump to conclusions as you see the first few cards in terms of whether or not you want this deck, because it gets pretty weird. And so, yeah, like I say, it departs, even though it has some similarities. You know, like that is not the Chariot, right? Or it's a very, very different sort of Chariot. But that could be seen as a Hermit card. So, and obviously now we have the Wheel of Fortune. But look at the weird faces, weird skull faces. This actually has hands with flame coming out like an offering, self-created. Slay the ego. I think these are really cool. And then you get to death. Certainly a reimagining. And how is that for weirdness? I call it ally. And I did look that up, and there are reasons. It's taken to be, this is taken to be like a gargoyle on a cathedral, which is, you know, the guardian. So this is full of weird eyes, and so if you can't handle weird eyes, this might not be the deck for you. I think this deck is about the limit I could take for weird eyes. It's like I couldn't do, or at least have not yet tried, had the faith that I could do the Tarot del Fuego because of all of the weird eyes. This was another deck similar to the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, where I just found the keywords really interesting for one thing. And that seems to be something of a theme going on for me with this year, is that decks with keywords I wouldn't have expected, oracles with interesting keywords, is a temptation. You know what, mean and heavy, you know. Sometimes life is that way. This cracks me up, the Cosmic Carrot with its, I'm assuming these are like chakra symbols. So I hadn't been thinking of this as multicultural, and really it is very, I'm assuming that this is Buddhist as opposed to Hindu, but would it be Hindu? Shows you what I know. I guess I'm thinking of the, well, I don't know. having a crisis of confidence here as to whether the Tantric tradition comes from Hinduism, or I think of the images as being Hindu, so I guess it comes from Hindu religion or worldview, or however you want to put it. So this as above, so below is really interesting because the below has the volcano, and this shows it at peace, at rest. So here's another guardian to go with your ally. So if they come up together, you know you need to be watching out for something, and that you are protected. So, yep, there is some sexual imagery in here, definitely. Because this is essentially 70s imagery, it doesn't have quite the same clarity as digital images. And that's why I'm not going to a lot of trouble to show you super up close. This cracks me up totally bananas. And there we go, 64. So let's do some shuffling. And we're going to take a look at the guidebook. Oh, I need it. These are the backs, by the way. The cosmos. Shuffles quite nicely. I don't have a standard tarot deck handy. They're a little longer than a standard tarot deck, just from the stretch of my hands, but not as bad as, say, the medicine wheel cards, which are super long so that you can't get to the other side of them. I wouldn't say I have large hands. I would say I have medium hands. I definitely don't have small hands. Fairly, decent cardstock. Decently stiff. They won't give in too easily. Fire of sacrifice, cutting through. All right, I'm not going to belabor my shuffling if it's already popping out and they're not just cards that are in a row. So Since this was the one most faced up, we'll look at 37. 37. So it does give, like in a traditional tarot deck, it gives the association. So it says, according to the classification of elements, this is a fire card normally related to the suit of wands in the minor arcana of the traditional tarot. But it doesn't say specifically like it's aligned with a specific card. I haven't checked whether this leans toward a Thoth-based system or a Rider-Waite-based system. I just tended to assume that it was going its own way. I have a Thoth book handy here, so let me see if I can flip quickly. Oh, does it have a quick reference in the back? This book, by the way, is Angelus Arian's The Tarot Handbook. I'm not a Thoth person, I had kind of decided, but this is a pretty cool book in general, and I thought it would be a good reference for just this sort of thing. Well, I thought they might have a quick reference here in the back. They've got all kinds of things, but so here's the wands. Could potentially, you know, they, for the 10 of wands is oppression, so that could be seen whether Thoth or Rider-Waite-Smith as the fire of sacrifice. So we could see it that way. In any case, I'm going to jump to, there's this part here, which is just about the image on the card, and then there's a divinatory meaning right here, so I'm going to read the divinatory meaning. Recognize the ability of the self to let go of all habits and habit-forming thoughts. Replace these with conscious rituals of worship. Gosh, I have heard that over the last few months. A deliberate act of self-sacrifice may be necessary to the questioner who draws this card. And there is an aspect in my life right now of that. I am having to reduce hours at work in order to get back to taking better care of my body. And so this sacrifice is a financial sacrifice, a security, really, a security sacrifice. If this is consciously practiced, a great advantage is to be gained. Let go of all worldly attachments, possessiveness. Oh my God. Might be a great deck reduction, or goodness knows what. In favor of the inner fire of faith, keeping this constant in the illusory field of existence. And so this could mean that I need to make greater sacrifices than I am imagining at present in terms of reducing my, you know, the amount of money it takes for my upkeep. If this card is located in the base center, so it gives, gosh, it doesn't give it at the, so this does give a quick reference. This book, the Tantric Dakini, does give a quick reference at the beginning, and it gives this. looks like an 11 card spread. So it might be meaning like in this base position, but I thought it, and then it has a couple of other spreads, and it bows down to the Celtic cross. Is there anything else in the back? Yeah. Well, no, it's just a demo reading. No, there's, oh no, these are, it gives you some extra in the back. Blanks that you can fill in to practice. But it's a Tree of Life spread, and it has a base position. So, so that's what it's referring to when it says if this is in the base. So where was I? Yes, if this card is located in the base center, the indication is a burning up, the burning up of past karma with respect to the world, a break with the past, and a possible sexual awakening in the future. In the spleen center, the suggestion is of an aid to the digestive and assimilative function. At the navel, the psychological position of the questioner is presented, indicating that it is the fire of faith which allows the secrets of the Dakinis to become known. In the heart center, a passionate consuming affair is indicated. At the throat, psychic penetration, and in the head, an act of selfless sacrifice leading to the transformation of a situation. So how cool that it has, I have never come across a deck like that, but I might have another one because I have a chakra oracle. I have a new chakra oracle that I will be doing a walkthrough of here next, actually. So I didn't realize that this was going to be like another chakra deck. And I like the way for each card it's giving us how it can be read given whatever chakra it lands in. That I find very cool. Because I find chakra readings with cards to be really informative. So yeah. All right. The only thing I would say to that is that since I didn't get this card in a chakra, in a chakra spread, I end up a little bit like, well, what? So which one of those does it mean for me? There's a little bit of that questioning, but chances are I will just be reading this intuitively. I love that there's a nice hefty guidebook for kind of getting into and understanding the mindset of the deck. But I have such memory problems that the chances of my remembering the meaning according to the book is just really low. So I have to be able to read intuitively from the images and the keywords. And I think it will work fine that way. If I didn't, I wouldn't have gotten it. All right, everybody. So there's the Tantric Dakini Oracle. Should you be interested? And should you be interested, I would look into finding it sooner rather than later. I think that there were some left, but it was leaving a question in my mind, how much longer they would be available. I would call it not a popular deck, so I don't know that it would ever become like the decks that go crazy and when they go out of print they're $500 or whatever. But yeah, if this floats your boat, again, I would look into it sooner rather than later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.